Hi Alan, this is Sterling, and I just wanted to respond to your message about the AP belt. Here it is right here. So you have one. Basically, you have the rubber tubing. You can adjust the size of the length that you want to maybe work with a player on. You're going to want to take this, put it up on the forearm of the player, like this. And basically, strap it on to the racket here in the middle, latch it down like that. So it's basically in that position here, like that. Make this a little tighter. It's a lot harder to put it on by yourself. But anyway, so basically, you want to make the length to be comfortable where you want the racket to be in a very comfortable position off to the side. Obviously, you see some players, the racket is tilted a little bit more vertically when they take it back. I'm not a real huge fan of that. I like for it to be a little bit more closer to 45. It could be here. The great thing about the AP belt, it doesn't really inhibit. If I want to turn and make the elbow go high and tip it down like that, if that's my style of play, it doesn't inhibit that. It really depends on where you put the wrist in relationship to the side of your body. If you pull back and the wrist is more in front of your body, the tip is going to be down. If the wrist is you're more like this, where you come off and like you're going to high five someone to the side. That's how I talk to the little kids about it. Or high five with the racket. It gets the racket in this position. So as I turn. So that's what I like about the AP belt. It keeps tension there. If I go to dip, I'm going to feel more pull. If I pull back like that, there's not going to be any tension. So I don't get the feeling that the AP belt is trying to help me feel where my racket is off to the side, because I can turn and now I can basically like almost let go of my grip pressure, and the racket pretty much stays on that unless I just completely let go. And if you notice, if I let go, it just drops straight down. It doesn't actually swing like this. So there is something about this angle that I like, and I like the way the AP belt actually puts the hand, and the wrist is sort of cocked back like that. So if I'm here, I'm in the ready position, and I tell them, I use a little tactic called tip and turn. So I have the players tip the racket, tip the point to the sky, and that automatically gets it into that triangle position, and that lock, and my wrist is locked in or cocked back. And then I just have them tip, and then I have them turn like that. So it's already in that position. So if I took this off, I'll show you what I mean. So I have them go tip. See, I'm in that position without the AP belt, and I turn, and I'm in that position without the AP belt. But what the AP belt does is it gives me, like then I didn't have any feedback between my hand and what the racket position and what the relationship was with my arm. So if I put the AP belt, now I can feel the tug or the tension. So I tip, I feel the tension. I turn, I feel the tension. And now my hand can't actually go down. Now it can go down, I can force it down, but it's keeping my hand in that position. And so as I begin to go back into the backswing, or just take it back and then go into the drop, it keeps my racket position also in that position, so I'm not breaking too early, or I'm not doing something funky in the backswing. So if I go here, and then I go here, and then I go butt of the racket, I drop it into the pocket, or drop it into the slot, as some coaches would say, I'm in that position where I can go. And then when I get to contact, I'm bringing the racket head through contact. And so notice I've got a good L-shaped position between the racket and my arm. This is keeping it on line. I can still push into the ball if I want to, and it's not gonna, the AP belt's not gonna inhibit that. It is gonna give me a little bit of a tug position. So I'm here, I'm here, and then as I go into the turn, I can feel it helping me turn into this position, and now I have this L position here where the point of the racket is in this position for extension on the forehand ground stroke, and then I can just go into the finish and just relax like that. So there's many things I like about the AP belt. I don't use it for every student because I look at the way they're turning first and what is the position of the racket. Is it in the neighborhood? You know, is their hand in this position? I'm okay with that. If it's in this position, I'm not so sure about this position here because I still want the racket head to have some turn into when you go into the drop, okay? Another thing the AP belt does as well is it kind of gives you a feel, and you can kind of see it as a coach if it begins to disappear. You know, if they go into the backswing and they're way back in this position here, it's out of my visual. I can't see it as a coach. So I say, hey, I want to be able to see that band on this side of your body as you turn. So as you turn into, I want to be able to see it all the way into the turn. And that's another good reference point for me as a coach as I see the player turn. So there's tools are great. There's lots of wacky tools out there. I don't really consider this a wacky tool because I think it's more applicable than some I've seen that maybe are just on your wrist that gets a little funky. But I like this because you can actually adjust the length of this rubber tubing, and it doesn't feel awkward on your forearm. You know, it's not like, it's pretty comfortable to wear as well. So every player I've used it with, I've gotten great feedback from them as players, whether they like it or not. Some players I put it on, they don't like it, so I just take it off. Some love it. They love the way it feels, and it gets their racket swing on a great path into the ball and then on the finish. So, you know, that's a little bit about the AP belt. And for all you coaches that maybe picked up this video and watching it, you can get it. Pat Doherty is, I think, the guy who created it. It's online. Just type in AP belt and Google search it. You should be able to find it. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and let me hear any comments or opinions about it. Thanks a lot.